but Scotland is a country, not a county. And the Scottish nation voted decisively to stay within the European Union. But of course it was Theresa May who said explicitly the week after she became Prime Minister, when she went to visit Nicola Sturgeon in Scotland, she said she wanted an agreed position across the United Kingdom. Now, you can't have an agreed position unless you're prepared to consult people on an equal basis.
I don't think it was ever understood that the Scottish administration would have equal say in an issue of customs union, immigration policy, foreign policy, international treaties, as the government of the United Kingdom, in which the people of Scotland have a large part of a large shaping part, because they vote in UK general elections, obviously.
The vote in favour of staying in the European Union was 62%.
Right.
The vote in favour of the United Kingdom was 55%. Far more people in Scotland, by majority and percentage, wanted to stay within Europe as wanted to stay within the United Kingdom. And as you'll remember, in 2014, one of the cardinal arguments of the No campaign, though people argue against independence, was it would stay in Europe if we voted against Scottish independence. Now, I know it's ridiculous now, it looks absurd, but that was one of the key arguments of the No campaign. The UK government has still to respond officially to the Scottish Government's compromise proposal that if England is determined to leave the single market, then Scotland could stay in the single market. There's working examples elsewhere in Europe where this is the case. Why shouldn't that be considered as a reasonable proposal? Let me just examine that point. That is not true. There actually is a working example in Europe at the present moment of a country which has a monetary and a customs union with another country, and one is within the single market and one isn't. That's Liechtenstein and Switzerland. There is no impediment whatsoever to Scotland being within the single market while England is not. It is a practical proposition. It is, of course, has complexities, but anything about Brexit has complexities. And this is a practical proposition. So you dismiss this. Why shouldn't the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom pay attention to the wishes of the Scottish people, the Scottish Parliament and the Scottish Government? There's already going to be, we know, special deals for Northern Ireland, for the Channel Islands, for Gibraltar, perhaps even for the City of London, for the car industry in Sunderland. And if there can be a special deal for the car industry in Sunderland, then I think there might be a special deal for the nation of Scotland. Let me say this. If the Prime Minister decides to ignore the, I think, over substantial demand in the UK as a whole to stay within the single marketplace, if she then decides to ignore the wishes of Scotland to maintain our 1,000-year connection and history with Europe as a European nation, in that context, if there's a referendum within the next 2 years, then the yes side will win.